Good morning, one and all. Welcome to another fantastic walking video here, filmed right here in the heart, as we like to say in Yorkshire, of God's own county. So welcome. What are we talking about today? Well, the topic that is always, I think, fresh on my mind, I think should be fresh in everyone's mind. And that is, in the UK, the biggest problem we have is getting people engaged in politics. And it is hard. It is incredibly hard. Because there's really two types of people out there. There's people like me who like to talk about the facts and the issues. And the problem is, the facts and the issues and the solutions they take some time to explain. And very often, there aren't easy solutions to what are incredibly complex problems. And that turns a lot of people off. Because the second you start talking about, for example, our problems with trading with the EU, all caused by massive problems of red tape. And this isn't because of the EU doing this. This is because of our decision to do this. This was Brexit's fault. And that's one side. The other side essentially presents simple solutions to what are very, very complex problems. And like I say, to them, given that exact same scenario, to them, their basic call is, it's the dastardly EU that is doing this to our economy, to our businesses. How dare they do this to us when it was our decision to leave the European Union? So, those are the two problems. But this then leads to the problem of political apathy, because it turns off so many people. I think roughly about 30%, I think it is, of the people in the UK don't actually vote. Yet, if they got off and got up on election day and registered to vote and got out there and cast their vote, they would change the political landscape overnight. So the question we're going to try and answer today is, how do we solve the problem of political apathy? So before we jump into that, please do remember to hit that like and share button. Also, if you are new to the channel, there is a link down below to my Patreon page and my one-off donation link called Buy Me a Coffee, where you can, buy me a coffee. And thank you to all those people who do support me that way. So, how do we solve this problem? Well, I think the case is, it's a matter of giving people hope. Because I've always said on this channel, we are all about hope, and we are all about being positive, because if you are positive and you go to fight these battles, and they are battles worth fighting, then you're already on a winning footing. And truthfully, let's admit it, you're not going to win all the battles that we fight. And that's true for anything in life. But what the key thing is that you win the war. Right? Sometimes you might lose 100 battles, but all you have to do is win one, and you could make huge sweeping changes to the UK. So that's my first call to so many people who I see watching this channel who've left comments saying that, they've given up on politics, or they've given up engaging. My message to them and to anyone else is, you have to get back up and you have to join back in, because all we have to do is win that one battle. And you may have, in the past, fought battles and lost. But you have to be prepared to pick your standards back up and get back out there in the fight. Because if you're not fighting, then change is not going to come. And that's the first point of how we solve this problem. The second one is, and I'm always a big advocate for this, is write to your MP. You know, you can send them an email, you can write to them physically, you can even tweet at them. You know, there's so many ways you can contact your local MP, even if they're not the party that you would traditionally vote for. Because MPs, surprisingly enough, do listen. And if you were to organise in your local area a contact your MP day about an issue, or let's say, you know, like the policing bill, you wanted your MP to vote against it, then organise with your you know, your friends, your family in the local area, and say, we're going to write to our MP, this is what we're going to say. And imagine if you're an MP and all of a sudden you get bombarded with like 100 letters, and that doesn't sound a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it does have an impact, because if 100 letters or 100 emails or 100 tweets get sent towards an MP, well, all of a sudden they'll turn around and they'll listen. Then even if they don't vote the way you want, then at least they know that you're not going to get their vote. And then that might make them think, well, maybe I need to start and sit up and pay attention. And always, always keep that pressure up on them. You know? Always keep that pressure up on them. But then, here's the next point. What if you live in what is known as a safe seat? I'm coming from live from Barnsley, a very, very traditional Labour safe seat. And I'm not 100% happy with the direction of the Labour Party that's going in, but I do recognise that the next general election, we have to defeat the Tories. We have to get them out. And I recognise that the only way we're going to get them out is through Labour. None of this, like we did at the last election of, oh, it's okay, you can vote for Lib Dems, and somehow a party in your area that's never come more than third place is going to come first. No more of that nonsense. Unless the Liberal Democrats actually commit to an electoral pact, it ain't and it shouldn't happen. You shouldn't even go near it. Shouldn't even contemplate that thought in the voting booth. So that's why I've joined Labour, because, as I've always said, you can get more done with a foot in the door than both feet outside. And this is another thing that people have to realise, that you don't just get a chance, you know, once every 4 years at the general election or at your local elections to actually affect change. You can affect change in politics every single day if you are engaged in your politics, if you know what's going on, and just generally look at what your party is doing. And even your local party will have many events that you can get involved with and other different things that you can do to, you know, help engage not only yourself but other people. And that is really important. And the final thing is, we need to drastically push for proportional representation. I am fully on board for having a proportional representational referendum. And I think we need to start to prepare the groundwork for it now, so that we're not starting on the back foot when the fight for that starts. And trust me, it is going to be one hell of a fight. Because as we saw during the AV referendum, people like the Conservatives and all the other very, very big party donors are going to be massively, massively against what would essentially be one of the biggest political changes in the UK ever. And this is not even just if we got, the House of Commons to change. It's if we just got the House of Lords to change to like a proportional representation system as well. That would change so much about the political landscape in the UK. And we've got to be prepared to fight that battle. And on some level, we've also got to be prepared what happens if we lose. But at the moment, we've got to be prepared for preparing to fight that battle, because it is coming. Because yesterday, we got the news that the 200th constituent local Labour Party has now voted to support proportional representation. 200. This is an absolute fantastic number. So I urge you, if you're a member of the Labour Party and you know that your local constituency party hasn't backed proportional representation, start lobbying for it. And there's other fantastic resources out there that are full of, resources and facts that you can use to throw at them as arguments as to why we should start supporting proportional representation in the UK. And I do believe it will be a huge defining fight, because there's been a lot of talk recently about how if we had gone for AV, for example, back in 2011, how much our political landscape might potentially be. We might have even had Jeremy Corbyn as Prime Minister. So we have to be prepared to fight these battles. And yes, sometimes we aren't going to win them all. But what's important is that you fight those battles, because if they are important to you, it is important that you get up there and you actually fight for it. Because sometimes all you have to do for especially us is we have to win one battle, and it could bring huge, huge change to this country. So, as always, thank you for watching. Please do remember to hit that like and share button. And of course, down below, there is a link to my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, buy me coffee. And thank you to all those people that do support me that way. And as always, we'll see you all next time.